Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I'm in Hollywood. I didn't get a chance to stop at Hollywood and Highland because they got the stupid Oscars tonight. Damn Oscars, man. This is trash. I think I'm the only person that feels that way in the city, but honestly, it's been garbage for years. You know, it's just another Zionist run organization that gives credit to who they want to give credit to and discards of whoever does not align with it. I've been seeing them do this for years. The movies that they say are the best movies of the year since I was a small child most of the time are trash, or Avatar, something that they've put $1 billion into. No, I'm over the charade, Hollywood. I'm over the charade. The best stuff is stuff you've never heard of, stuff that they probably didn't want you to see. So that's what I will say. But nevertheless, that's what kept them from even stopping at Hollywood and Highland. You can't even, you know, they had yellow tape up as you get off the train in Hollywood and Highland. They slow it down, but they actually don't stop the train. And it's just yellow tape on both sides to keep trains from opening up and letting people out. So, you know, just them controlling the area, it's safety risk. And of course, it makes sense. But it's irritating for people, for locals who want to go where they want to go and get off of the train where they want to, and they shutting down the street for a little charade. But that's what it is, man. It's an absolute charade. It always is in Hollywood. One more thing that they can put in front of us to keep us from focusing on what it is we should be focused on. It's propaganda. But yeah, man, it is what it is. I focus on what's real. As you guys know, it's to the best of my ability. I mean, I've been trained by these people just like everybody else, but you know, I know how to compartmentalize certain things. Like I can watch the Lakers and talk about Palestine and Sudan and Congo and all this other stuff that they're doing they don't want us to think about. So yeah, man, free everything, free everybody that needs freeing, especially our minds in these places that are controlled by these Zions. Free our minds, Lord. That's what I'm praying for. Freedom of the mind, freedom of the people, freedom to food, freedom to love, freedom to a voice that is heard, freedom to think for ourselves outside of the propaganda boxes that are put in place to allow some to get away with horrible things and the rest of us to feel like we don't have a right to do those same things, which probably shouldn't be done any damn way. But that's what I have to say about that, man. I'm sick of it all. I want it to all come down, to be completely honest with you. I'm about at that point in my life where I'm not amused by a lot of any of this. I'm not amused by any of this. It's demonic. It cheats people out of an opportunity to choose the proper things for their life so that they can have the best for themselves and their children in a lot of cases. Unless they want to go through those thresholds that are gate kept by individuals that don't love individuals who don't look like them. That is exactly what I think of that. Who don't pray like them, who don't align with their debauchery, who don't want to do the evil nonsense that they do, or the evil nonsense that they want these individuals to do so they can have them in their back pocket and keep them guilty and all this and other type of stuff that would otherwise be met with the electric chair in a lot of cases if we were doing things correctly. But that we do not here. So yeah, man, I'm trying my best not to be bitter as I learn, as my eyes continue to open more and more to what is truly going on, especially in the place I'm from. To know what it is that they don't want us to pay attention to know what it is that they ultimately don't want us to have any conversations about, and to become more aware of what it is that ultimately makes them angry, which is righteousness and balance and freedom for people with brown skin. In a lot of cases, they hate us, but they want us to work for them. You know what I've come to understand? Slavery did end in this country, but they did replace the black slaves with slaves in other countries, like Congo. You know what I mean? They stopped the American slave trade, but they picked up the stealing from Congo and slaving their children, and picked up the steal. You know what I mean? Like, once they realized, yo, we got this settled, but we still need the free labor. Let's enslave other countries and hide it from our own people. That's what they did. They enslaved other countries' people. They just, all right, blacks, we'll slowly let you think you're growing. And as you get your strength, as you slowly but surely get your rights, we will slowly but surely take the rights from people who look like you in the country that we stole you from. We'll steal from them, and everything we give to you will take from them. And as we slowly build what we're building over there, we'll slowly give you this guise of strength over here. That's all that ever was, man. It's literally all that ever was. We rock the boat. Rock the boat, man. Down with the elephants, up with the donkeys, baby. I guess. So yeah, man, I'm just over it. I'm over all of it. I'm over everybody who's brainwashed by it. I look at the copy and paste of what I'm seeing in Israel, and I see them talking about, yeah, it's fine for us to like kill their kids so long as we protect ours. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can think for myself. That sounds crazy to me. Like literally. And I just get frustrated. Everybody who's brainwashed by this bullcrap. But I understand they did a good job. I mean, you gotta understand, they poured trillions of dollars into our propaganda. So of course, I mean, we're gonna be chasing what they tell us to chase. We're gonna think the way we want us to think. We're gonna be afraid to say what we should not say, quote unquote, should not, because of course we've been trained to. We're gonna drink the beer they told us to drink. We're gonna pay into the fast food corporations they want us to pay into. We're gonna idolize the emblems and various different idols that they put in front of us. I must have this, I must have that. I gotta get enough so I can pay for that. Bad spending, low frequency, low esteem unless I have more than you type bullshit. It's low frequency, man. It's all low frequency. And I'm over it. I'm telling y'all how much over it I am. I want to rip the band-aid off of all of it. The older I get, the less I care about what the structure is that keeps this going. Because at the end of the day, in order for it to keep going, so many have to have nothing, and few have to have a lot and not care about giving any to the people that don't have nothing. It's the only way it works. Capitalism. Give me mine. I won the game. Fend for yourself. I'm rich, I'm wealthy, it's easy for me to get money. And now, because of the propaganda upon the minds of people like that, I believe it should be easy for you to get money too. Even though you invest a penny, gain a penny, I invest $1 million, gain $1 million, doesn't matter, because money comes easy for me, difficult for you, and that's your fault. Like, it's over it, man. This propaganda is trash. And how we convince one another to keep going along with this is trash. Worship the celebrity. No, I'm not worshiping these celebrities anymore, man. They're afraid to speak out on what's real, bro. They so afraid of losing what they have, they afraid to speak out on what's real. They so afraid of angering the powers that be that they don't realize that the powers that be want to do horrible things. Horrible things. And they're counting on you to be afraid of them, friend. Listen to Mike Epps talk about, nah, I gotta sell out, man. I gotta show them I'm trustworthy. Fam, they ain't trustworthy. You can't trust these people. They're killing kids and being silent about it. How the hell you trust them? I'm at a certain age, I want to make money. Bro, you can't make money. Didn't Kanye teach you anything? As soon as you get even a fourth of what it is you're supposed to be given, they gonna make sure you realize they can take it away from you as soon as you betray what it is that ultimately you're trying to adhere to. That is in and of itself betrayal toward you. You can't trust them. Why are you trying to make them trust you? The point that they're trying to make is not to be able to trust you, it's to be able to control you so that they don't have to. And by way of what it is that you need from them, you're gonna keep on doing what they tell you to do. And as a result, you're not going to get anything you're supposed to have. That's just how it works. And you're going to always look at somebody like me who wants to rip the band-aid off of that as a disruptor, as the worst guy in the world, as somebody who wants to hurt people. I don't want to do any of those things. I want to stop people from doing those things. It's true. But because you listen to them and what they tell you, they're going to tell you that I'm a bad guy. When I'm telling you not to trust them because they are bad guys. Literally. Here's the proof. 990, 987, 88, I don't know where we at. Episode of proof, man. I've been talking about it the whole time. People behind the curtain, we know they are the designers. They're designed to take from everybody they can take advantage of. And exalt themselves in the process forevermore. And as long as we continue to allow them to do that, that is exactly what they're going to do. As long as we continue to need from them, take from them, be afraid of them, try to gain their respect, their trust, and all this other stuff that they don't want from us at all, just our works, our tax dollars, and ultimately our souls. That's what they want. They don't want your trust. They want your undying devotion to their evil. Whatever they choose. Whatever they choose. And as long as you continue to allow them to feel like they have that type of power over you, they're going to have that type of power over everybody. By way of the influence that you have as you move strong as you do. They can't move without your continued compliance. They can't do what it is they're doing without your continued devotion. And that devotion is against God in every sense of the word. It's against the notion that something's greater than it. It should be adhered to away from what it is it intends. But the more you give it thought to what it is it's doing, the more you realize the God that they are trying to pretend like they are, they're actually at war with. And everything that he put together and wants to build and give structure to and give strength to, aside from it, is ultimately its duty in its own mind to destroy. The more devoted it is to God, the more annoyed by its existence it is. Think about it. The more devoted it is to something greater than it, the more annoyed it is with that thing's existence. Copy and paste it to whatever you want to apply it to. It always aligns. It always aligns. Because at the end of the day, it wants to do what it wants to do. And it wants you to allow it to do it while holding you accountable for not doing the things that it continuously does. So it can control over you and protect itself from what it is that ultimately it does through you if you were to mimic it. That's what it is. That's why they always project, because it's a deflection. I do all of these things, but I need you not to do them to me. So what do? I say that whatever you are is what it is I'm doing. And then I proceed to describe what I'm doing to those who are paying attention to me in regards to you. It's how they do. It's how they operate. And so it's important that we think for ourselves outside of these propaganda boxes, outside of what is cool, outside of what it is that we're ultimately supposed to be chasing, and all this selfishness and all this propaganda and all this capitalism. I need mine. You got to think outside of that in order to think outside of what it is that they've structured for you to do, so that you allow them to do to you what it is they would never allow you to do to them. That's how it's structured. That's how it's always been structured. And that way they can taunt and laugh and do all types of genocide, all types of slavery, all types of weird stuff. And then the regular people out here who hold them accountable will be too afraid to hold them accountable for it, or to do those things on their own. Because they threaten you with the stuff they won't do to themselves. Chair, years and years and years in prison, all the stuff they would never allow you to do to them, and holding them accountable for the things that they say you do. And then they tell the world who you are. You're the worst guy in the world, you're Hamas, you're a terrorist, you're all different types of stuff that you're not. You know who you are, but if you listen to them, they'll tell you who you are. Who you are not. Who they are. And the confusion ensues. Free Palestine. No, really. That's exactly where we're headed. I didn't know that was there, but it's fitting because it's exactly what we're talking about. Freedom, and free us from the mind control that allows us to not care about them. These people are dying over there in horrible ways, being starved to death. Their children are being emaciated, terrorized. They're dropping aid on their heads and making TikToks about it and enjoying the process of it as if it's okay to do. And then they'll try to silence people like me or like you if you want to talk about it. Make us look like the worst human beings in the world for trying to hold them accountable for being the worst human beings in the world. See how that works? It's exactly what I'm talking about. Freedom for Palestine means a freedom from our propaganda training. Up with the elephants, down with the donkeys, and vice versa. That's how they allowed you not to care about Palestine. That's why it's not millions of people on the street. It should be way more people out here than what I'm looking at. Why? Because we're caught in the idea that we're not supposed to say anything. That we're supposed to allow for this to take place. We're not. We're not, man. We're never supposed to allow for this type of stuff to happen. You know? It's a beautiful thing, man. That's what I'm talking about. I stand for the same thing those people do. Every time I open my mouth, ever since this began, for the last 160 days, that's what this has been about for me. Zionists can't do to their people what they've done to mine without further resistance. Word to John Brown and all of the abolitionists. It's not going to work. You can't do that without resistance. You can't kill children and starve children without resistance. Excuse me. There's no way. We won't allow it. With the voice that we have and with our ability to come together, with our ability to speak to one another and connect with those who are there, we will use the tools and resources to wake everyone up, make everyone aware that this is not something that is okay. You can't show the world this, hold us accountable for those same things in our own walks of life, and then proceed to think that we're not going to see the copy and paste nature of the hypocrisy itself. You can't do it. What you can do is show yourself to be the worst human beings in the world and deteriorate any trust that people would otherwise have in you. That's what you can do. And that's exactly what Zionists, Biden, the whole donkey elephant clan, that's what they've done to themselves. I ain't rocking no damn vote. You can't guilt trip me into thinking I have power that I don't have when I try to use my voice and you ignore it. When I sit up here and say stop starving children with my tax dollars and you say try to literally keep me from saying anything, using Instagram and anything meta related to basically allow for the killing of those children, the killing of those people, starving of those people, align with everything bad in regards to that, and then tell me I'm the worst person in the world for wanting to stick up against that. Can't do it. I'm not that type of stupid, and I won't allow people who follow me to be that type of stupid either. I'm gonna disarm you in every way I can. You can't war with the poor and then say they're the greatest threat to you. They don't have anything. How they warring with you? You were trying to annihilate them to make yourself feel better, so you can make good on your ancestors' revenge plot or some low frequency nonsense that you believe you're doing, which I'm pretty sure you're wrong about, because we can see there are certain things that are probably not being taken into account just with the hour change in and of itself. We lost an hour last damn night. Are you sure they're not behind on schedule or ahead of schedule or got something wrong? You think they're taking that into account? No, they're too busy killing to care. That's the point. They'll do it the same way the Pilgrims did it. Oh, this ain't India? Well, we call it India anyway. That's how they're going to handle that. So they handle everything. They refuse to hold themselves accountable, refuse to be wrong, even when they are. Alternative thoughts, what do they call it? Alternative facts. Alternate facts. Not the truth, but the truth as we see it, you know? Not the truth, but what we want it to be. So therefore, it is, or it's not. There's some type of other confusion. And that's what I'm saying to all of you guys, man. Just understand. I'm on my own mission to raise awareness in regards to this. I'm not out here waving flags and doing all the other stuff. That's just not my way. I use my voice and I tell you what I see. 155 days of torture, famine, some of the most horrible things I've ever seen in my life, man. I walked these streets when I was the age of a lot of those children that are being starved, and I can't even imagine the torture they're going through. This is where I'm from, right here. This is where I spent a majority of my childhood. And I'm telling you, if this type of stuff was going on, the stuff they were dealing with, I don't know if I would have survived it. I wasn't strong of a child. As a lot of those Palestinian kids, I wasn't that strong, man. I lost a homeboy in 1993. That brought me to my knees. And when I see kids that were younger than I was at that age talking about, I lost my brother, I lost my mother, I lost my sister, I lost my father. Like, I don't even know if I'd have survived that. These kids are way stronger than me. These people are way stronger than I am today. And the least I can do is use the strength that I have to raise awareness to what it is that they need me to raise awareness for. Not because I benefit from it, not because I'm afraid somebody's gonna take something from me, none of that. But because somebody did that for my ancestors. Somebody was strong enough to step away from what it is that benefited them to fight for the freedom that I'm asking us to fight for right now. You want me to worry about my ancestors who died for the right to vote. And I'm telling you about my ancestors who died for the right for me to tell you that I don't believe my vote even matters. That they have proven to me that I shouldn't trust anything they say. They've proven to me that they don't hold any value to my life in this country. So while they want to guilt trip me in regards to the ancestors who died for the right to vote, I help them understand what the word right actually means. It's choice. They didn't die for the mandate upon me to vote and choose between the lesser of two evils, or the donkey or the elephant. They died for that I have the choice from which to do it or not. And that choice is what essentially these people are trying to guilt trip me into not adhering to. That right is what they want me to forego by telling me I need to choose one or the other. I ain't got to choose nobody. If anything, I need to understand the word right and what it actually entails. The choice that is supposed to be in place that should allow for me to choose whether or not I want to engage in that. That's what they want us to give up on. That right. I got a right. That means either I can or cannot. I can either choose to or choose not. It don't mean I'm forced to. It don't mean I got to. No, that's you telling me that. You want me to forego that right and using my ancestors as a means of guilt tripping me into doing so. Not happening. When I step up and I tell you free Palestine, it ain't just about what it is I understand in regards to what's going on over there. It's about what it is that got us in a space where we feel we can't say it. Where we can't look at somebody else and say, yo, I empathize with you. I understand your suffering. I understand I benefit from that suffering, and I want it to come to an end. The notion that I'm supposed to be too stupid or too warped to the propaganda, or too ready to watch the Lakers and the Oscars and all types of other distractions, that I'm not supposed to give a damn about somebody else, or that I'm supposed to be so selfish in my own thought that it's all about only what's going on over here, when what's going on over here is what affects over what's going on over there. I'm supposed to be too selfish to do that, right? I'm supposed to not give a damn enough to do that, right? I'm supposed to be too wrapped up in what's going on my streets to care about what's going on in their land, right? But the moment something happens over here where we need international help, we're going to need people to step outside themselves, are we not? So what am I supposed to do? Not have no idea that that's possible? And engage in the very thing that would allow for them to suffer while I can do something about it? Come on, man. Thinking for yourself is going to save lives. Stepping outside of this propaganda machine and ignoring Meta's backwards ethics in regards to what's right and wrong based on the selective humanity they engage in is the right way to go. Stand up to Jewish hate. Stand up to hate of people of Palestinian descent. Islamic hate. Christian hate. Hate for children who happen to be brown or happen to come from Palestine, of whom some of them are not even brown, yo. I want to reiterate that. It ain't that simple. It's blonde-haired, blue-eyed children look like Bella Hadid are getting destroyed out there in that situation. It ain't as simple as black and brown and white and black or none of that, man. There's a lot going on that ain't got nothing to do with skin color, but more to do with proximity and understanding of who's from where and who represents what, and who can come back and hold them accountable for not treating them properly. They don't care what color them people are. Because my mother told me that evil don't have no color. It ain't just Islamic people that doing this too. It ain't just Jewish people that you would say is responsible for this. It's deeper than that. It's an overall collective understanding that so long as they stand together in Zionist hypocrisy, they can do whatever they want within the agreements to be evil together. Evil not as they define it, but evil as it is that the Lord would define, which is depraving people of their humanity, torturing people, children, the innocent of us all. An unwavering understanding of what evil actually is, for which they can't stand to define properly. Because if they have to stand to define it properly, then they have to understand that they are responsible for not engaging in that behavior for which they can't structure without. They can't do what they do without that. So I'm telling y'all, man, I wear a different type of hat. While y'all want to wave an American flag and say I have a right to only care about what's going on within these borders, I tell you that there was a black woman that made that flag. One of my ancestors, that's her art piece. And just like everything else they did, they stole that from us. So anytime you want to wave that flag in the name of evil, you just remember what it is I just told you. It's a black woman who made that flag. It's like it's a black man telling you this. This world is not made for the type of borders and the type of desensitization that we are engaging in right now as it pertains to what goes on outside of those borders. You are not supposed to say people on this side of the fence are worth more than people on that side of the fence. That is propaganda, warped, and nonsense that we've engaged in for years. It's been evil the whole time. You're going to take the land from those people and then proceed to push them out of that land, then proceed to tell people who you've brought to that land, who you have no credibility with because of how you did them, that those people over there need to stay over there and they bring all the worst people over here and we need to protect our borders because they're going to take everything from us. You took everything from them. If you were doing things the proper way, you wouldn't be trying to keep them out. You'd be making sure they get paid every dollar that you owe them. You would make sure they wouldn't need to leave their country because they would be made whole from all that you've stolen from them. They ain't gonna have that conversation about the borders. How much you take from these people? How much you actually owe them? How many of them have been paid properly for the work that you've done on their backs and benefited from off their backs? While y'all want to sit up here and talk about your borders. Build the wall. They need to be building a wall against you. Picking y'all out one by one. Every last one of you colonizing bastards. Pick y'all up out of this land and then reestablishing who actually should be here, which is them. It's their land. This ain't your land just because you stole it, wrote up some deed and then declared it's yours, slapped that black woman's art piece on top of it as a flag and then said it's yours. Man, ain't nobody, ain't yours. It never was. So you think I'm gonna sit back and have a different approach because I am in this place and I benefit from the evil that you've done, man? The only way that I benefit is if you do the evil that you're doing to the Congo, do the evil that you're doing to Palestine, doing the evil that you do to Sudan. For every comfortable step I take, it's some 3-year-old child that's being told to pick a diamond out of a damn rock or he's gonna get his head blown off. You think I'm gonna be cool with that just because I'm safe? I'm not safe. He's not safe. And I'm just supposed to be too wrapped up in what's going on with my favorite team or too wrapped up in what's going on with my favorite rapper or favorite whatever artist. And I'm not supposed to be thinking about that child. I'm not supposed to be thinking about the balance of things as it pertains to their money and how much my country is taking from them. You owe them people trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Or we walk around so damn safe. No, the balance of things. The very thing that you say, yo, I'm gonna make sure my money's right, you gotta pay me what I'm owed. You're not keeping that same balancing scale as it pertains to people you've stolen from as a country. You are not. Nor are you fighting for them to get that. Why? Because you have to give up everything you have in order to do so, because nothing you have isn't stolen. Nothing. I'm walking past people that should be millionaires because of what was taken from them. Am I supposed to ignore that? Because the Oscars are on tonight? I suppose so, if I'm thinking like you want me to think. But the reality is, Palestine has showed me too much. I can't go back to that. You didn't show me exactly how much we matter. You didn't show me exactly how much my voice holds and much weight my voice holds when I say ceasefire and you tell me you're disruptive. Disruptive is killing 30,000 people. That's what's disruptive. Starving children. That's very disruptive. But I'm not supposed to care. Because there's a GameStop across the street and I can go get my favorite game right now. There's a Subway over there and I can go to Subway right now. It's like bullshit. Nah, man, I'm not rolling with that. I don't think anybody should be rolling with that anymore. I really don't. It's awful. It's been awful. It was awful when they did it to the blacks. It was awful when they did it to the natives. It was awful when they did it to the Mexicans. It's awful when they're doing it to Palestine. It's awful, fam. So that we can all sit up here in our Zionist place and just love life. But see, what we don't understand is while we're sitting here in our loving life place, they're painting me out to be a thug, painting that person out to be a terrorist, painting that person out to be too smug to care about anything that looks like anything other than themselves, painting it like it's always some type of propaganda in place to create some guise of comfort while we continue to invest in the deterioration of our very own selves and our very own last names. Now I'm supposed to be going after hot girls. Let me pay into this. Let me go, she's a bougie woman. Let me go ahead and steal from everybody I can so I can make sure I have enough money, or get wrapped up in some Zionist bullshit so they'll pay me enough money to make me a viable candidate for her bougie ass. Or make it so that I own this and own that, but in owning that, I bet not cross over this line or that line, because then I'm stepping on toes. Stepping on toes of people who want to do what? Be okay when children are dying over there? Be okay with taking land from them over there? Who is going to be tomorrow that you victimize in the name of coinciding with your capitalistic bullshit? Who else gets to suffer because of what it is that you want to make comfortable for yourselves? There's going to be somebody tomorrow. When that well runs dry, you're going to find another one to steal from. You're going to find somebody else to do this to. Or you do it again to the same people you've already done it to. Enough. This is the year where we look around and say we're not confused. We see all of this. We know it's been in place for years. We know you've been pulsing rock the vote every 4 years for a reason. Just like every single workout, every brushing of the teeth, everything else that we do that is ultimately done in repetition for it to be drilled into our skulls is no different than the propaganda you put into us. Just like the same propaganda that you put somewhere else on somebody else in a different way. It's the same formula and fashion. You're training the minds of people to not have any compassion. Not confused. Irritated, frustrated, fed up, confident, but not confused. So that's what I'm saying to all of you. You're disarming that nonsense. There's no reason to go along with it if you understand what it is I just said. There's no reason to continue to bullcrap around with that if you truly understand what trickles down from that, what tumbles forward from relaying that same ideal forward. Nothing good comes from that. They're just going to victimize somebody else tomorrow. They're just going to wipe out somebody else, ethnically cleanse somebody else tomorrow. And you ain't going to give a damn about it because you're still going to be rocking the vote, watching the Oscars, watching the Lakers, and everything else that we do. And at some point in time, we got to understand that the only reason why that's in place is to keep us from holding them accountable for the things that they do that they would never allow us to do. It's wrong. Not as they define it, but as God would. As long as we're godless, they get to nestle themselves in position to take advantage of that lack of faith and that lack of discipline. I'm not telling you to be religious. I'm telling you to be understanding and compassionate and to understand the notion of that for which tumbles forward when you engage in that for your last name. People will herald you a hero for doing the right thing, not for relaying the wrong things forward so you can benefit yourself and your whatever it is you're trying to do. That's how you disgrace yourself in the grand scheme of things when you tumble forward what it is that ultimately will be undone anyway. Because there holds no balance, so it ain't going to age very well. Palestine is ultimately the sacrifice to make us wake up if we're paying attention. Since slavery didn't do it, since what happened to the natives didn't do it, this should, in theory, show us what it is that we are allowing to happen by being the way that we've been all this time. By allowing them to continue to control our minds with the pulsing of things that don't have compassion attached to it. By allowing them to define what evil is and what good isn't. By allowing them to engage in evil while they define it elsewhere. If that's such a word. I hope y'all as tired as I am. I hope y'all as fed up as I am. I hope y'all as concerned about the next generation as I am. And I'm in a safe space. It's Hollywood. This is where the flashiest lights are here. This is where we beam your greatest propaganda towards your mind. The greatest distractions are done in the land I'm from. Keep you dumb. My name is BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.